I'm thinking I'm going to do a couple more zucchini recipes because a lot of us still got zucchini. And I'd like to just do maybe a couple more recipes using our zucchini. I know a lot of y'all like the zucchini recipes because when you get so much, you're just trying to figure out what to do with all of it besides trying to put it up, preserve it. So welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. Well, do we ever get tired of zucchini recipes? I don't know yet. I'm sure here in a couple of weeks I'll probably have all that I want, I'm sure. But when you've got even yellow squash, y'all can substitute yellow squash for zucchini in any of these recipes, really. But I was wanting to make some kind of a breakfast cake, some kind of a sweetbread or something. So I thought instead of just a regular zucchini bread, I want to make a zucchini pumpkin cake. It's not going to have no icing or anything on it, but I'm going to make it in a 9-inch or 10-inch bundt pan. And I've got it greased and I've got a little bit of flour in it. But we're going to start out with just 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm going to start putting my dry ingredients in here. And I'm going to see if I can read my card here without putting my glasses on. We need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now I've had people ask me when I do cakes and stuff with all-purpose flour and add all my dry ingredients if they can just use self-rising. There are a lot of cakes that you can use self-rising flour with. Sometimes I have to add a little bit more baking powder to it because sometimes they don't rise very good and some of them do. I mean, I use self-rising flour in a lot of cake recipes, but when it calls for all-purpose, I usually just use my all-purpose and add my dry ingredients to it. A teaspoon of baking soda. So that's 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I need a half a teaspoon of salt. And I need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. We got quite a bit of rain. Well, I say quite a bit. When I say that, we're just so happy to get anything that I think we got just a little over an inch, I think, if I'm right. And we need it so bad, so I'm so glad we got it. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then I'm going to put about a half of a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Really and truly, this could be optional, but if you don't have pumpkin pie spice, you can put you about a fourth a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 a teaspoon of ground cloves, and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger. I don't like a lot of nutmeg, so okay. I'm just going to stir up our dry ingredients, and I'm going to go over that again. I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a half of a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. This is a really good recipe, y'all, for, of course, any kind, you know, for the fall. We always seem to think that when fall gets here, everything, you know, we got to make everything pumpkin. But I do have a lot of shredded zucchini put up in the freezer too. And I know y'all have asked me to, you know, when I do a video putting that stuff up, y'all want me to use it in recipe and show y'all how I use it. I thought about that, but then that's put away for this winter. So I'll use it this winter. But I just got a few more zucchini out of the garden. So I just went ahead and shredded it up, and that's what I'm using. So the squash and the zucchini and stuff like that that I put up, that's for me to use this winter as my produce, as you know, not going to the grocery store to buy it and all this stuff, and it's not growing out in the garden anymore. So I just go to my freezer and get what I need. So now we're going to add, well, first off, what we're going to do is we're going to mix up. I've got 3 eggs, 3 large eggs, and I'm just going to mix those up. And I think what I'm going to do is, let me get me another bowl. So I got me another bowl here. I'm going to go ahead and pour my eggs in here, because I'm going to mix my eggs and my sugar. I've got a cup of packed brown sugar. Put that in there. I'm going to stir that up. We're supposed to have some more hot weather coming in, so I'm not looking forward to that. But you know what? Good Lord gives us all these seasons for a reason. So all these seasons for a reason. So you just want to mix up your eggs and your brown sugar really well. Get the lumps out if there is any. I know some of y'all are still asking me about my old cookbook, and I don't have any more printed, and I'm not going to print anymore because I'm working on a new cookbook, and it's not going to be out for a while. But when it does, I will let everybody know. Okay, I've got 1 cup of pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin pie mix, but it's just the pumpkin puree. Some people put up their own pumpkin puree, or you can buy it in the store. Sometimes I'll order several cans of organic pumpkin puree from Thrive Market, and it is some of the best pureed pumpkin, canned pumpkin. So I'm going to stir that up. Now I've got a whole stick of butter here. If you melt it, just make sure you cool it off good before you add it to your mixture. I'm going to be using walnuts, and I'm going to be putting some raisins. Now, the raisins and walnuts are optional, or if you just want to add walnuts or pecans, you can do that and leave out the raisins. I mean, it's up to you. But I'm going to be adding both. So I'm just going to whisk this up good. Mr. Brown's busy, or he'd be in here. He's my new mixer. Now that butter would look better mixed in if it was melted, but it's going to be fine. It's all going to mix together. I'm going to put a tablespoon of vanilla, a whole tablespoon. Okay, now I'm going to add this to my dry ingredients. And I love these kind of recipes because it does smell like a fall recipe. It really does. And I do have a lot of pumpkin recipes. And I'll just ask you, if y'all are really interested in, you know, a lot of pumpkin recipes, if it's something y'all just would really like to have, y'all leave it down in the comments. And if it's a big majority of people that would like to have several pumpkin recipes, I will do it. I might do just a whole month of nothing but pumpkin. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to stir this up a little bit before I start adding anything else. Now, I shredded my zucchini up, and it was a medium zucchini, and I got 2 cups out of it. And I didn't drain none of the liquid out of it because I need some of that liquid in this cake. And I did not peel my zucchini. If you want to peel yours, you go right ahead and peel your zucchini. And this is going to be a thick dough. So just fold all this together. And you can do this in a mixer. If I wasn't doing it on camera, I'd probably do it in a mixer, but it makes so much noise, and you have to stop the camera, and you have to turn the volume off or down, and so we're just going to do it this way. You can see how thick that is. You can do this in a 9-inch loaf pan. My oven, I'm fixing to turn it on and start heating it to 350. So I need to grab, I've got my walnuts here, but I need to go grab my raisins because of course I didn't have everything together like I should. I'm going to put a cup of raisins and about 3/4 cup of walnuts. You can use pecans, almonds, whatever you want to use. And I just about need Mr. Brown in here to mix this for me. But we will get it. It smells so good. And like I said, if you want to peel your zucchini before you shred it, you go right ahead. And for 2 cups, it did take about a medium zucchini. Okay. That's going to be delicious. It's not too sweet. You can taste the pumpkin, the walnuts. can taste the cinnamon, and I can taste just a little bit of the nutmeg, but not too much. I don't like a lot, so it's perfect. That tablespoon of vanilla was not too much vanilla. So now all we gotta do is get it in our bundt pan. Sometimes I think it'd be easier just put it in a loaf pan. I always think when I'm doing these videos and I use a bundt pan, I'm always going, oh, please come out of that bundt pan. And there's been times it didn't, and I just showed y'all, you know, it's stuck, you know. That's just the way it is. This is a good bundt pan, but you never know. I do my best. I've been cooking since I was a little girl, and I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect. We all mess up, we all make little mistakes, but you know what? If we don't make mistakes, we're not going to learn. We're not going to learn nothing. I can remember when I was in kindergarten, and this was a story that's been told on me for a long time. I wouldn't stay in class. Now, this was back in Pasadena, Texas, just outside of Houston. And the preschools and the kindergarten was not with elementary. It was plumb across the other side of town. And they said that I'd get dropped off kindergarten, and I just wouldn't stay in there. They always found me sitting in the little kitchen area with the cook. And they said I loved her, that I absolutely loved her. And I guess she loved me because she let me stay in there. They said she put me up on that counter, and that's just where I'd stay most of the time with her. So I guess I was pretty stubborn and just didn't want to go to school. I don't know. I'd rather sit there and have fun with the... And she was an older woman. And I'll tell you something else that I've talked about is I lived in Pasadena until I was 13 years old. And then I moved up here to Arkansas. And I never looked back. But anyways, we lived next door to a Spanish family. They were the best. I'm telling you, they were good people, and the daddy worked so hard. They had 8 children. And I can tell you, I can see every one of them's faces right now. And I was, you know, I was a young girl when I left, and I left them. And they was always good to me. And we lived, you know, side by side by side. There wasn't much room in between houses. And her name was Miss Benavides. And she made homemade tortillas every day. And I could smell, when she was cooking, I could smell it. And I'd go through the back gate, and I'd knock on her back door. And of course, her kitchen was right there in the back. And she'd motion for me to come in there because a lot of the kids were older than me, and they'd be in school or they'd be working or something. Well, she knew what I was wanting. I was wanting some of them homemade tortillas. So I'd sit down beside her, and I'd watch her make them homemade tortillas like it was nothing. And she would cook them things up. And I didn't have to have nothing on them. I just ate them. They were so good. So I guess I just spent most of my life in the kitchen. But that still don't make me perfect at cooking. It just makes me love it. Just makes me love it. Okay, we got that dense batter in here. So now I'm going to put it in a 350 oven. I'm going to watch it because it is a dense cake. I'm going to put this on 45 minutes, and I'm going to turn my cake a little bit. Then I'm going to let it go another 15 minutes. If it's still not done, I may have to let it go another 10 minutes. So we're going to say anywhere from an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. But we'll see, because every oven varies. So let's get our cake cooking, baking, and I'm going to get this mess cleaned up. I'm standing out here on this is the next day. I'm standing out here on my front porch, and you can hear all the bugs hollering. It's going to be one of them another hot days, that's for sure. But that's going around everywhere, isn't it? And I've got a little bit of a head cold this morning. You ever get a summer cold? Sometimes I think they're the worst. That zucchini pumpkin, I keep calling it cake, but it's bread, y'all. Zucchini pumpkin bread. It's really good. It's not real sweet. And if y'all are trying to stay away from sugar, you can use a sugar substitute in it. You can use, I think some people use a swerve brown sugar. Maybe there's some other kinds that y'all know. But I think y'all would really, if you're trying to figure out different ways to use your zucchini up, and adding pumpkin to it, it's so good. It's a good one for, like I said, during the fall when we think everything's got to be pumpkin, and you've got all that zucchini in your freezer. It's a good one. Really good with coffee. Well, I'm gonna get off here and see what I can get into this morning. Probably not much outside because it's just gonna be horrible. Heat index supposed to really be up there today, but you know, this is August, and this hot weather usually goes into September, so it's just to be expected. Maybe it's a good way to tell us just stay inside and do stuff inside, and you know, take it easy a little bit from all the hard work you've done for months, you know, outside. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It don't cost you a cent. And when you do, hit that notification bell, the one that says all, the black one. That way you don't miss out on any of our videos, because we have videos out every week. Click that like button, and don't think that we don't see it, because we do. We just keep some things private to ourselves. YouTube sees it and we see it, and you know, sometimes in life there's just certain things like my family that I keep private, and it means the world to me when y'all click that like button and you comment. So many comments, and there's so many, and I love it, and we try to get to all of them, but we kind of fail on that sometimes. But don't think that we don't try, because we do. Because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. So click the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment. Even if you just say hi to us. If I see it, I'm going to say hi back, I guarantee you. So y'all have a beautiful weekend. And I think next week the weather's going to straighten up just a little bit. Well, maybe we can get outside and get some things done in the garden that need to be done. So y'all be safe. Make you some of this good zucchini pumpkin bread. And it freezes good too, y'all. This is a good one to freeze, to keep in the freezer. So we'll see y'all in a few days. Not sure what we're going to be doing, but there's always something going on here on the homestead. We love y'all. God loves you very, very much. We'll see you later.